a side hustle and how it can be a valuable income stream to you. You know, there's so many examples going around. Like there's this 12-year-old coder that learned in 400,000. He created his, I think it was whales that he created and sold them. You know, we're not all in that league, but that's something that's being done. So you say, well, how did it work for you, Paul? Well, it's pretty basic, really. I bought 6 lizards for $600. Then I sold 4 of them for $4,000, and I bought 2 bulls. Then I got 2 more bulls. And then I sold 1 more lizard, and then I bought 5 guardians of the universe. And you sort of think, oh, gosh, that sounds weird. But that's sort of how it is. You put some money in, you buy something, you sell it. And as Brad was saying, if you're in early, you get an advantage. It's when it's what's called minted, when it's made, when it's created or distributed, really, more truthfully. And so, you know, these are all the bulls I had, and you certainly get emotionally attached to them. You don't even like selling some of them after a while. But if you look at the ways to make money out of NFT, you can create them as an artist. You can collect or flip or trade them. You can invest in them for the long term, like with what we call Bored Apes, this is one of them there, one of the Bored Apes. Or you can upskill yourself. You can teach people about them or help people with them or run classes on them. So creating them as an artist, collecting, flipping, trading, investing, and upskilling are the things you can do. Now, OpenSea, as I said, they're opening about 3,000 wallets a week. If you look at their turnover there, 473K, 8 million, 2019, 2020, 24 million, and then 1 billion. And it's moving now at an unbelievable rate as it moves forward. And when you go to OpenSea, you just get there's so many pieces of art, millions and millions of pieces of art that people look at, they bid on, and you know, people have their favorite areas or favorite topics. Over the left there, you can see CryptoPunks, mutant apes, art blocks, Bored Apes, loot, all different areas of artworks that people can check up on. So people say, well, how do you create one then? If I were to create one, well, what on OpenSea, it's actually relatively simple. If you've got a JPEG or an MP4 or a GIF or a PNG or a WAV file or whatever it is your digital file, you just drag and drop it in there, you give it a name, you provide the external link to it if you want to give people more information outside the website, you add a description about it, how many you've got, and then you just push publish, and of course pay OpenSea some fees. But you know, that's at the moment how, you know, at a simple level, how you can do it. If you're going to create 10,000 of them that are all subtly different, then you need to have, you know, special software and that to do it. So in the end, it gets displayed on OpenSea pretty much like this. And, you know, one of the, you know, I suppose the team leader in all this is something called the Bored Ape Yacht Club. And we were talking about community before, but what they've done here, they've created a real community around this. In some New York clubs, you can get in there if you own a Bored Ape, because, you know, they're like $200,000 or $300,000 each, up to $1 million for a JPEG. And people say, well, that's crazy. How could anybody pay that much? But it is supply and demand. And I'd like a fraction of one of these at all. And there is a possibility to do that. But see, this one with the King's thing, it's presently offered for 1.48 million US dollars. And that's what it looks like. So you can look back and see, well, in the beginning, that particular one was minted and a guy called Pranksy bought it 4 months ago. He then sold it for 3 Ether, which is about, you know, $10,000. And then he then sold it to D Farmer for 8 Ether, which is like $24,000. And if we go back, we can have a look now. He's trying to sell it for 390 Ether. So he bought it for 8. He wants to sell it for 390, which is a pretty good margin. And then you can have a look also at the same time, are people interested in it still? You can see, well, nobody's saying they'll pay 1.6 million or 1.4 million, but they are saying that they'll pay 161,000 US dollars, which he could accept immediately because it is an offer that's sitting there for him. So that's sort of the mechanics of how all that happens. Each item that is being sold has got a page, and in this particular one we can see the Bored Ape Yacht Club. There's 10,000 items there, and they're owned by 5.4 thousand owners. So that means on average people own 2 each. So that's a good statistic, and you have to remember to always check that. I actually bought some 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm the largest holder, and there's only 24 holders and 10,000. So I love the artwork, but I didn't look at the community side. So that's a hard learning for me. But you can see here the floor price is 41 Ether. So let's say it's probably about $120,000 to buy any one of these Bored Apes. So that's sort of the technicalities of it. Each one of these apes has got different characteristics, and people look at the color of the background, the clothes, the earring, the eyes, and these are the traits that I make them unique. And sometimes it might just have one diamond earring or something, and everybody wants the one with the diamond earring in the shape of Bitcoin or whatever people choose to have like that. And in terms of the subcategories, like the eyes, they might say they can be bored, bloodshot, sleepy, closed, sad, which means that people can you know, you can see here 1,700 of the 10,000 have got bored eyes, but only 551 have got sad. If you scroll down further, it might be one eye might only be one of them, which makes that particular one a lot more valuable than other ones. So they usually specify it here under properties in OpenSea, which you can see down the bottom left of your screen there. Army green is the background, leather jacket, it's holographic, that's the eyes. Golden brown is the skin color, and the grin is gold grill, and less than 1% of all of the apes have got that particular characteristic. So this is the uniqueness, the scarcity, and things that people are really going after. Now, you don't need to pay that much for apes. Like I recently bought a couple of these, what's called baked bears, and they're just a different type of one. There's all different types of them, and they were minted a few days ago. And in this particular case, you see there's 1,900 of them, 655 owners. So that's like each owner owns about 3, which isn't so bad. The floor price of them, that means usually the cheapest one looks like it's around $180. And so that's how you assess one of these things, and then maybe you sort them from the lowest price to the highest, and you choose which one you like, and then you pay for it. So how do you mint an NFT? That means how do you get it, really? There's a button usually on OpenSea with the arrows pointed that takes you to the website for this particular opportunity, because they get to OpenSea once they've been minted, but before they're minted, you have to find it. Or you go to like that masterclan.com that Brad mentioned. They'll have a page that'll be preparing for minting. And so you go there and they say, okay, if you want to buy one of these, please connect your wallet. And that's usually a wallet called MetaMask, which is an extension in the Chrome and the Brave browser. And so you have to install that in your browser. And then it says connect wallet, and you connect that. And then they tell you, okay, if you want to mint one of these, it's going to cost you 0.04 of an Ether, which is, like $120. So you make sure you've got that money in your wallet, plus maybe $40 or $50 for gas fees, and then away you go. And in this particular case, the wallet pops up and it says, in this case, it said to me, it's got insufficient funds. I need more funds to buy that. And then once you've got that sorted, then you can actually buy it. And each NFT has got rewards. As you become part of a metaverse, you get different things. So all that's included, and you can read that on that particular website. Now, if you've bought one and you want to sell it, well, you pretty much go back to your place on OpenSea where you have your own account. And here you'll see I've got a couple of bears, and I've got 3 what you call mafia fish there. If I want to sell one of those, then I just click on sell, and then what comes up, I first of all probably check to see if what the price history's been on that. If I bought it for, I see, like I remember I might have minted it for 0.04 or something. I want to make sure hopefully I get my money back. And then I click on sell, and then it says set price. I put the amount I want to sell it on, and then pretty much you click post your listing, and that's how it works. And so it gets up there ready for sale. In this particular case, this junkyard dog I've got up there for at 2 Ether, $7,000, and I can lower the price if I want to sell it cheaper. But that's how that one works. And what happens is whenever you get an offer, you get an email. It's like in this particular one, you have an offer of 0.152 for your lizard. So somebody's offering me, I think I've got the dollar amount for it. They're offering $597 US for my lizard, and that one cost me, I think it was 0.03. So it cost about $90. So you think, well, will I take that? I know it actually costs $135. So that's the mechanics of it. I minted it originally. It was minted and sold to Dave. Dave sold it to me at 0.045 Ether. So that's so now the bid is there for $597. It cost me $135. I have to decide whether I want to take that $462 or carry on. So how do you find out about good ones to buy? Well, I follow a guy called Elio Trades, mostly because I've followed him all through the journey of his crypto journey and the fact he's developed Super Farm, and I've always found his hints and things to be very, very accurate. He's on YouTube every Wednesday morning with an NFT show that is absolutely information rich and good. And then there are other people, like we saw Gary V, which Scott showed you. He's if whatever Gary V's into is probably worth following. And then there are other people on Twitter. Maybe you can select 5 or 10 to follow there. And things happen, like in the information stream, it might say there's an NFT drops on the 9th of 3rd at 1 p.m. Some people say that. Somebody says this Teddy's minting at 03. Buy some of these. So you have to look through and see what they're like. And so somebody said here in this particular tweet, these are some NFTs by Michael Klein. And then you have a look, who's he? And they say, oh, he's a contemporary artist, works in museums, etc. And then the bottom you see, oh, Eminem used his animations in Pillman for his anger management tour. You think, okay, the guy's got some credibility. You go to his Discord channel and you click and join that and have a look, and then they'll say, where the website is that you can mint that particular thing. So that's that journey that you have in terms of we did get this question asked, how do you assess if it's a good NFT? Well, as Scott mentioned, we mentioned in crowdfunding, and because with crowdfunding and startups, you never really know how to value them. I had this model story team and empathy traction. And it just quickly explains to you that you can actually get online lots of statistics about how many people are involved and what the prices are and everything like that, and what the rarity score is of a particular product. But what I found was that, you can see online what all the things are worth, but whether or not the things in the long run going to be there. So I look at it from the story, like, is it a good, what's the subject like? Is it appealing? The eye of a holder? Is it old? What's its rarity score, its release date, liquidity, things like that. I'll send this through to you, Lee, so you can distribute it. And then looked at the team, who's the creator, the artist, are they followed on socials? Do they interact with fans? Have they got a good track record? The social media, things like that. And then, of course, the traction, how many users are, or interested people, participants are there ready to buy it? Is there a lot of activity? So you look at these things, and if you look through for Bored Ape Yacht Club, of course, now looking at it, the story is amazing. The team is awesome because they've just dropped the mutant apes and they had serums and they had all sorts of exciting things. And then in terms of traction, is it actually really moving? But in the beginning, maybe it was only 26 out of 30. Maybe you thought, oh, the story's okay. I'm not sure about apes as a subject. Team's good. Yeah, they seem to have a bit of traction. So you don't actually know, but I usually score those things in my head to see how they are. So if you take this like Based Fish Mafia one that I recently bought, well, I saw there's like 3,000 owners that owned 10,000 of them. The floor price was low enough, which was quite good. They'd already traded 454 ether of them, which is about 1.2 million. So I thought, well, okay. They look okay. They seem to be attractive. And looked in this group, I saw they got 14,375 followers. Just did a little bit of homework and came out and thought, okay, well, all right, the story is good. The team seems to be active in channels and things like that, and they seem to have quite a bit of traction with 3,000 owners already. So I say 26 out of 30. So I decided, okay, that's what it is. So Scott, that's a thought as far as I would take it. I think things like setting up wallets and things like that are a bit more technical. We can cover that another time, but I'll hand that back to you.